y'all, Sir Penguin here, and we are looking at a 4v4 team ranked match at the top level between Team 1 and Team 2 here on the Golden Pit. So, starting with Team 1 on the left and moving across to the right, we start in the purple on the Jushi's Legacy, Crackety here. To his right, in yellow on the Roos, Baltoon. Farther along to his right, in the blue, playing as Japan, we've got Anatand. And below Anatand, finishing off Team 1, the German, Lash. In the green, playing Jeanne d'Arc. Across from them, Team 2 are folks I am not familiar with, and I do not know how to pronounce their names or what we're doing with, so we're going to refer to them by color and as Team 2. So, in pink, starting on the left, we have Jushi's Legacy. We've got Japan in the orange, looking like HRE in the teal, and in red, another Roos player. Now, these games, in these high-level team matches, you're going to see pretty similar team comps as people start to put together. I say start, we've got a season long of team games that have really informed who some of the top tier matchups and styles are going to be and who's going to play. We've got a long one, so just sit tight, get a snack, sit back, enjoy yourself, as this game is going to get interesting. We're going to do our best to follow everything here and figure out what is going on. Looks like Crackety here just doing a nice easy Song Dynasty, getting all of the eco for the meditation gardens. Still just sitting and gathering here. There's the first. There it goes. And where is he putting that? Meditation Gardens going on. Does he get that stone? Is that? Oh, yeah. Okay. So he gets 2 stones, full berries. That'll be a nice Meditation Gardens. Easy to get some TCs up. Practically a free third TC, depending on how he wants to play this. Puts 2 on that age up there. Kremlin coming up for Baltoon, meanwhile. Gonna make his base nice and safe. Gonna provide the wood bonus when he starts gathering wood from this tree line. And other than that, going to be gathering his bounty. Let's actually check in with him, see where his bounty's at. 440. Gotta love team maps. Gotta love team maps. These scouts doing work here. He's gonna have 500 bounty before the game even starts. To his right, we've got the Kira Storehouse going up for Japan. He's gone with the stone, so it's likely we're going to see out of Anatand that second TC. Yep, villagers gathering the wood here. 2 TCs probably going to come out for Anatand, and we'll see where he goes from there. Meanwhile, Jeanne d'Arc building up her School of Cavalry so she can get her XP, get out on the map. So, what are we going to see here? Well, with the Song Dynasty from Jushi and definitely, okay, going immediately into TCs as well. I think there's part of the meta of team games is just TCs like crazy. On the other side from Crackety, both Jushi players going for the multi-TC builds. Of course, Song Dynasty into the multi-TC is just so, you save so much money. We're going to use the cinematic mode quite a bit in this match because of our large blockage. I was just looking at that blocking the Kira Storehouse here. We'll work with what we can and do our best to catch everything. Tower going up on the gold for orange here. So we've got a fast castle coming for this Japan player. Definitely not going to go for a second TC like the opposing Japan player. So we'll have Mounted Samurai out from this player very quickly. Probably to put pressure onto Jushi and the Roos. Meanwhile, Jeanne on the bottom, setting up food, gold, just gonna start producing knights. Lash just going immediately into that. Jeanne d'Arc, there's her sword. Let's see what she's up to. There's a couple of boars in front of her. She'll probably clear those out for the XP. Yep, there she goes. Kremlin up for red as well, as Jeanne moves in that direction. Gonna have a few TCs out for red here. It looks like, meanwhile, the opposing Rus player, Baltoon, also gonna build quite a few TCs here, just really leaning into that team TC meta. Here comes Jeanne. First boar goes down. Second boar, I don't know if it's been scouted. Does he see that? Let's check it out. Yes, I think he sees that. So he's just ignoring that for now, seeing if he can put some pressure on, I suppose. Yeah, just wrapping around. Maybe looking for some loose bills on these food lines. Nothing crazy going on yet. Lots of TCs coming out. Looks like HRE is doing a just simple, fast castle build. Meanwhile, going into the Burgrave, though, probably to help out against Jeanne. I feel like the Burgrave with HRE means you get a lot of men-at-arms with the maces and just clear those Jeanne units. Oh, Jeanne dives all the way to the back for the back boar. Maybe she intends on swinging back for the other boar here. She's going to clear that out. Lash getting all the XP, early XP on Jeanne. He can sneak here. With a 4-on-4, it's going to be a lot of greed. It's hard to put early harass on. So we've got more TCs coming out for all these players. TCs likely coming out. Let's see. Yep, there's the third TC for Crackety. How many TCs for Baltoon? 1, 2... Not gathering more stone here. Can we check his stone? Yeah, just gonna go for 2 TCs, Baltoon, but he's got that passive gold income that's gonna help him a lot here, especially with a huge bounty he took care of there. Jeanne, kind of poking Rus's base, but nothing gonna come of it just yet. Just checking each other out. You can see scouts all over the map, just taking a look. Seeing the fast castle on orange. Teal building up a spear mass with the Burgrave. The spears come out of the Burgrave so fast. 3 seconds a spear. Gonna use that to defend against Jeanne's knights just in time. Very nice. Gets the spears out, protects the wood line from Jeanne aggression. Meanwhile, Jeanne using the boar kill from earlier and another boar kill here to gather up some extra food. Rus not going to get the bounty down here. Let's see how Red did. Red also sitting close to 500. That won't take too long either. Got some action up on the top. Just some scouts saying hello, giving each other a little whack. Castle Ages coming out for Teal and Orange with 2 fast castles on Team 2. A little bit of harass. No, just another scout. Really checking things out. That being said, Crackety towering Pink's wood line. This is going to be really annoying for Pink to deal with, who has gone 4 TCs, by the way. Not just the standard kind of 3, but so greedy, needs the 4 to defend this. He's going to see what Crackety's up to, and he's going to go ahead and tower the gold. This tower, not going to be able to shoot into those vills until the arrow slits coming, or the gun slits. Fight coming out on the other side. We have Castle Age HRE along with those Rus Knights fighting against Jeanne, and just look at Jeanne healing up those Knights. Likely, yep, already popped the heal, using the area attack. The spears and the men-at-arms with maces gonna push that back. Have they scouted the food? Okay, Jeanne swinging around here. Lash working on moving out against this. So we've got a 1-on-2 happening on the bottom, while behind him, Anatan just building up the Japan eco. Getting a little Castle Age now. Gonna take advantage of that. Another fight coming in between Jeanne and just gonna escape the villagers, keep the vills away from that aggression. The tower gonna try to pick off some spears here. That'll make it a little easier for Jeanne to move in and fight this. Rus Knights going a little far, get caught out by the Jeanne player. Lash comes in, pushing to the Knights. Jean coming in with the area damage. Oh my gosh, the spears just get melted by that, don't they? Villager's gonna come down here if Lash doesn't move in. He saves the Vills. Nice movement. Nice micro. And he's gonna go ahead and fall back and let Roos push this back for now. Meanwhile, Pink and Orange building up a mass with Baltoon building Knights to come fight the Mounted Samurai of Orange. Zhuge Nu and Mounted Samurai, such a deadly combo. This is messy. This is going to be a brutal fight over here. Again, we have another 1v2 being fought. Wow. Meanwhile, you've got blue and purple just being so greedy, getting away with everything they can. Let's go ahead and see what Crackety is up to. As no, hold on. Those Mounted Samurai pushing towards Crackety. The Roost Knights coming to intercept. We've got a push going into Lash's base, meanwhile, as this chase goes on. Fight going on. The Mounted Samurai don't all have their deflection, so some of them reduce this, but yeah, the Castle Age Mounted Samurai gonna clean up those Knights. Knight's gonna have to pull back against the Mounted Samurai. Let's check out Lash's base as he's fighting. Here comes some reinforcements. We've got Anatan bringing out the Onimusha mass out of the Castle Age with 2 TC. Gonna be able to afford that. Gonna pop the cinematic mode? No. Gonna fight this with the Onimusha. They're gonna have to fall back with these heavy units. None of this can fight against the Onimusha with Jean and Knights supporting. Meanwhile, a push going into Crackety's base with the Mounted Samurai Zhuge Nu. What does Crackety have? Crackety just sitting on some feudal palace guard for now and some spears with the Song Dynasty. He does have Castle Age. Is the upgrade coming through somewhere? It's hard to tell. Gonna use the palace guard to tank this while the Knights come in to clean up the Samurai. No, not quite. Crackety struggling on the left side just by virtue of going 3 TC into a farm boom here. Not a ton of units to defend and really relying on Baltoon's Knight strength here. The Roos's ability to just keep Knights coming. Crackety and Anatan both age 3 now. And we have the age up coming for Red as well. So 3 players on Team 2 going to be in Castle Age. Let's check out Baltoon here. Just a big dance going on. A few units from Crackety just taking a peek. Not going to want to engage just yet. Just forcing these Mounted Samurai to play a little spin. Going into their circles. My gosh. Action-packed game already. And for a long game, I was expecting a longer passive opening. But here we are watching these fights just all over the map. We got streaming units from HRE outside of Lash's base. We'll check that out in a second, but see how Crackety and Baltoon decide to hold this. We got basically simultaneous 2v2s going on the map now. Spears getting cleaned up, so the Zhuge Nu not gonna have an answer for the Roost Knights. That being said, Roost Knights still in feudal and still gonna struggle against the Mounted Samurai. The Palace Guard Spear should help against the Mounted Samurai. Yep, they're going to come clean this up. Gun from the TC. The arrow slits are in on the tower, so armor going to not be too effective in this push, and Crackety able to help clean up all these Knights, all these Mounted Samurai, and the Zhuge Nu are going to have no choice but to fall back from this. They're not going to be able to do much damage to all these armored units on the side of Team 1. Nice hold by Crackety there as he gets all that production out to defend. Age up coming in now for Baltoon as well. Lash holds again. It doesn't look like he has a whole lot of military left after the fights on his side, but he has bought Anatan a world of time to just gather the eco he needs. Already dropped off 2 relics in his own base, with more on the way to be certain. No fight coming in just yet on the right side. So back to the left. Knights and Palace Guard still engaging the Zhuge Nu, but this isn't going to be enough to do any significant damage. Spreading out the Palace Guard, though. Crackety doing a good job of using the speed of those Palace Guard to harass and raid the farms of the opposing Zhu player of Pink. We got a Wololo, missed the Wololo as we have the raids coming in on this side. The push coming into Lash now, as well as Crackety gets cleaned up over here. Men-at-Arms on Lash's gold. Lash taking a beating from this these attacks. I don't think he's lost too many villagers here, but he has just been under an immense amount of pressure. Does get the Castle Age, though, as everybody now in Castle Age. Gonna go for those nice veteran knights and the guild hall here. Let's do a quick check, see what people go up with in these team games. Guild hall, floating gate, of course. What did we get for Baltoon? It's in the back. Must be the high trade house. Pretty standard now for Roos. And how much gold does he get for that? 253 with his bounty. And Crackety, as we saw earlier, goes up with the Mount Lu Academy. Let's see how the fights are going. And then we'll go check out Team 2. Horseman now coming out for the Red Roos player. This could be veteran Horseman from the opposite side of the map. Looking like Pink called for some help here. Villagers going to be under attack from the Knights as Red gets cleaned up over here. Samurai not able to do too much, but these veteran Zhuge Nu, though slow, can put on a lot of hurt if they catch a fight here. Probably also the Mount Lu. There's the Mount Lu Academy as well. Knights cleaning up these villagers. There is a lot going on the map right now. It looks like we have some Onimusha coming across the Golden Pit itself. Let's see, Orange has gone for the floating gate as well. We saw that earlier. HRE went with the Burgrave. We saw that earlier. And I'm just going to assume that this Roos player has a high trade house, but let's double check. There it is. Only 138 on the red high trade house. Doesn't have one of those nice little double wood lines in the back of his base. Maybe back over here. Oh yeah, maybe like right here would have been nice, but it's a little not safe with Jean running around out there. Raids coming onto the back line as Roos Horseman taking over for the Knights for now. Baltoon gonna tank that up with a Knight as the Onimusha put on some hurt, but it's a really good call with the Onimusha out just to go into Horsemen. Horsemen are quite effective against the Onimusha, who don't do a ton of damage against Horsemen. Gonna check what's going on the south side. Baltoon picks up that relic before it can get deposited. Oh my gosh, moving around a little fast. Let me catch up with what's going on here. Crackety raiding Pink and Orange, able to kind of push that out as Crackety moves down into Orange's base. Baltoon, though, raiding Orange as well. These raids are going to be non-stop. Anatan in the Imperial Age. First one to hit Imperial. Gonna see Azutsu, I assume. Lots of Azutsu and those samurai in the front line. They're just the absolute tanks that they Imperial Samurai are, with all their upgrades. I'm gonna keep holding those Knights out. I'm keeping a look at the minimap here, trying to make sure we don't miss anything, because there's so much action on the map. In the middle, Men-at-Arms clearing out some defensive buildings from Baltoon. Imperial Age for red and for teal. Oh my goodness. Moving across, gonna burn probably more, yeah, going for more of these wooden fortresses, keeping the middle clear. And, ooh, there comes an Anatan. Keep with the rockets. Lash gonna clear out the Horsemen with the Onimusha of Anatan. Anatan gonna secure the gold in the middle for his team on the right side. Gold getting secured by Crackety as well. Push coming into Crackety's base. Oh, we've got a big push on Crackety's base. Roos kind of hanging out and swinging across to help against Anatan's raids, it looks like, on the bottom. A lot of Jugunu, a lot of Mounted Samurai. Just an immense amount of spears for Crackety. He's made spears, Palace Guard, and a Nest of Bees. Nest of Bees going onto the Jugunu. You gotta pull these Jugunu back if you don't want to lose too much. Yep. Crackety opening the door here. Baltoon counter raiding to get pink or orange to fall back. He gets orange to fall back to stop the Knights. Oh my goodness. Crackety turns this defense into a push as he sees orange falling back, and only Jugunu against his Nest of Bees. Pink is gonna have to make a switch here to be able to fight the mass of Crackety. Fight for the gold in the middle. Meanwhile, Horseman cleaning up a ton of yellow vills. Baltoon losing so many vills. Crackety losing vills now as well. They're both on multi-TC, but this is still gonna hurt. It's gonna interrupt their gold income. Onimusha not really doing a whole lot of damage to the veteran Horsemen, despite having their elite upgrades. Horsemen obviously not heavy armored, and these acting as a crossbow unit, they're just gonna kind of poke. It is too much now for that to be more than just a raid, but he gets a lot of value for those Horsemen. Crackety starts the push now. We missed a little bit at the beginning, it looks like. Some Springalds clearing up the Nest of Bees. Lash now in the Imperial Age. We have 4 players still in Castle, but 4 players in the Imperial Age. The 4 in Castle sort of mirroring those, except for the Japan player, but with the Jushi and the Rus still in Castle on Team 1. My goodness, there's a lot to talk about here. Trying to keep myself under control as we see so many fights, but all these Palace Guard cleaning up the Jugunu. If nothing else, Pink is going to be slowed down for a while. Crackety not going to be able to push into the TC. He's going to lose units just sitting under all this gunfire. But he's going to kill a lot of Pink's units in the meantime. On the right, Onimusha duking it out with the elite Horsemen of Red, keeping Red off of gold, breaking down that castle, or canceling that castle, rather. Here comes Spears for HRE. Lash not going to engage just yet as the Spears fall back into Red's base. Keeps coming up, walls all the way across the map for Red. The Onimusha swinging across to help out with Baltoon and Crackety's aggression, which is going to be difficult for Pink and Orange to hold, because while Red and Teal have been sort of holding the line on their side against Lash and Anatan, with 3 swinging over, if Lash holds on his side, it's going to be really difficult as the Horseman transition comes through for Baltoon as well. Also mirroring the Red player, these late game Rus Horsemen going to be so useful. Pardon me, I'm taking a drink. There's a lot to discuss here. Horseman cleaning this up. No enormous fights coming out just yet. Just lots of raids, lots of aggro. Looks like Red's moving out on the right side meanwhile, while Baltoon raids here. Let's see what's up. A spear raid on Japan. Like I said, we've got the Ozutsu coming out for Japan. Meanwhile, Zutsu, though, caught out by some of these Horsemen. That's not a great place for them to be. Horsemen getting some good value by taking out these Ozutsu, though some of them are free. Horsemen also raiding Japan's villagers. Anatan running into some harassment, some really early aggro here since his Onimusha are across the map. The Ozutsu will be able to clean this up, but the trade's kind of going in Red's favor a little bit, but Blue deciding enough is enough. Anatan deciding enough is enough. Going to get those barracks out and probably just switch into, yep, the Samurai upgrades and the Samurai production. Here it comes, frontline Imperial Samurai. A forward keep for Anatan. The gold just squarely getting secured by Team 1. It's going to make it really difficult for Team 2 to move out onto the map. There's a lot more of this game left, though, as the Horsemen come to clear this up. Not enough blue for now with the HRE coming, with Anatan not going to be able to hold this. Baltoon not going to be able to hold this. That's not enough Horsemen. Just going to burn it down. Loses unit at a time with the rockets. Let's see what's going on in Orange's base here. Another raid from Baltoon. It gets cleaned up. A raid on the other side in Baltoon's base from the red units. Gets cleaned up as well. No fight coming out in the middle, just a big cleanup. So Team 2 is going to be able to secure some of the gold on the bottom side of the pit. Keeps coming up all over the other side for Team 1, though. Let's see if they decide to engage here as Japan comes out with only the hardened samurai. Upgrades still on the way for those, but the Izutsu gonna clear house when all these units are grouped together. Horsemen go down, 2 spear rockets. Spears doing a lot of aggression to Lash's gold line there, though there wasn't a ton of villagers. More keeps coming up for Team 2, but Japan might be able to hold this. That's a lot of Horsemen. Izutsu. Let's see, did he lose that? No, I don't think he lost this one. I think he canceled it for the Izutsu could close it down. Not 100% sure because there's so many resources to look at in this queue. Spear's going to be able to clean up the current Japan force as they are still waiting for the elite upgrade on the samurai. Baltoon coming as well. It's kicking off in the mid, as they say. Izutsu with the keep. Anatan fighting alone against these two. Baltoon trying to help out, but he's just doesn't have the units right now as he's using them to raid Orange. Gonna lose more vills on the gold line. Anatan losing so many gold vills. It's gonna make the production of these samurai and the ability to get the elite upgrade impossible. I've got to say, I usually don't like this map. This is the most fun I've ever had watching a Golden Pit matchup as there's fighting everywhere. Lash comes in as well from the side, fighting with the samurai. Baltoon, Lash, and Anatan gonna be able to clean this up, it looks like. Here comes Crackety, the full elite Palace Guard. I think they have all their upgrades. Oh, except maybe the armor. Heavy infantry for Japan and Shi as handguns come out for HRE on the other side. Handguns a perfect choice here as the Team 1 is transitioning to this heavy infantry. Palace Guard, though, so fast, you're going to have to really take care. Use the spear front line. The spears of HRE do look very cool. But the guns popping off against the Palace Guard. This fight continues. Jean getting so much XP here. Is she going to be able to... Oh, she gets her upgrades. Sure enough, soon. Let's see. Looking at Lash. She can upgrade. He gets it literally just as we look over. That cannon should be coming in. No. Very valorous inspiration instead. Gonna inspire the nearby units to become even more powerful and use that hand cannon to clear these units. Izutsu getting cleaned up by the Knights of Rus. Rus has switched into those Knights with the heavy axes. So much damage, almost as much damage as the Elite Lancer of the Zhu Shi with the +9, but +7 with the axes. Gonna clean up Izutsu if they don't get any more shots in. So much HRE here. HRE just taken care of while their big fights go off in the middle. Lash coming to take a look, but I don't think Lash is going to have enough to help Anatan here. Big area attack from Jean, though, to damage this force. Force it to heal, fall back, can't fight with half health. This gets HRE doing a great job of pushing this back. Rams coming as well to clean up the defenses. On the other side, Baltoon trying to poke, trying to prod. Orange doesn't have enough defenses on the gold here, but Pink's keep should hold. My goodness. Baltoon just raiding this repeatedly, but it looks like most of the units are still going to be going to this fight in the middle that continues to this point. we are gonna have, this is gonna go all the way, chat. We're gonna have all of the maxed out folks. Chat, I'm recording this for YouTube, everyone. Gotten you a little used to the Twitch stuff now, but looks as we, oh my gosh, the handgunners, the horsemen, the rams, gonna clean up Anatan's position in the middle. Crackety and Baltoon gonna have to support here to help clean this up, because the Roos and the HRE as a combo here are undeniable. I'm gonna have to force one of my friends to play Roos or HRE so I can play the opposite. Actually, I take that back. I'm gonna have my friend play HRE so I can play Roos and play this intense late game strong combo with the passive gold income. Not looking good for Team 1 here as they lose the forward gold positions, but these teams are gonna have to go into trade as even the gold in the middle is gonna get cleaned out. So much of this gold cleaned up. Only 300 left on this one. Plenty on these sort of middle back pieces. So this is the gold they're fighting over. The 2 on the left, 2 in the middle, and this one here in HRE's base, but this is gonna just get evaporated by the amount of villagers back here. Fight continues. Palace Guard gonna get absolutely shredded by the HRE handgunners, but big fight gonna come up here as Crackety and Baltoon come to help against, but we have a 3v2 for them until Lash comes in, but Lash doesn't have a lot. Lash still kind of trying to get back into this game with the unit count, maybe put on raids to the opposing team. I don't think it'll be long before we see these players start trading, because the middle is not looking good for Team 1. Team 2 then, we have elite crossbowmen and elite Juganu, elite spears, elite Palace Guard coming to support this huge mass as we have a 3v3 in the middle. Here comes Anatan with a little bit as well. Some Azutsu to try to clean this up. There's so much for Team 2 here. Team 2 just absolutely massed in the middle. There's so much action. Can't even describe everything that's going on. Mangonel's coming in for Baltoon. Mangonel's gonna hit. Oh my gosh, they're gonna get cleaned up immediately by the Roos cavalry though. The Team 1 not going to be able to do too well here as they're forced to fall back again, losing the pit, losing the middle, that is to say, to Team 2. Let's see, it looks like we have the trade line on the back already. Gonna go take a peek. Yeah, Baltoon definitely trading, going with a mix of this passive income with the traders. Lash, meanwhile, under attack. He does have Jean's elite champions. Very good unit. If you have that red palace, there he goes. Just gonna pump out Jean elite champions with so many spears coming out for Team 2. I really like this as a transition for him. Get the elite champions out and tank for the rest of your team in the middle. But there are so many handgunners and so many crossbows still in this mass. Let's take a look. So much armor piercing altogether that until he gets some help, Lash's front line won't be able to fight this. I mean, they all gonna fall back, gonna recoup, building up masses in their bases instead. Crackety looks like he's going for a counter raid on the left side. But while he's going for that counter raid, Roos pushing up the middle into Baltoon, but Baltoon also having built up and defended his base. But we've got, how many rams are here, chat? How many rams? 12 rams? 13 rams for the HRE player. Gonna just start demolishing this stuff. Three players coming into Baltoon's base. Crackety trying to push, but doesn't even come to turn around. Just gonna be Baltoon using his wall and the choke points with Anatan's wall, rather. Any flanks coming? Yeah, okay. Anatan coming to flank to help Baltoon out. This army going to fall back, not feeling very good about pushing into the base that way because Rams have come in through the other side. Going to go after the production, slow down Baltoon's production as much as he can. Destroy some houses for Anatan as well. Anatan has gone into Handgunner, Azutsu, Samurai, an expensive comp. Some spears here as well, just to frontline. But this comp is going to be much more effective than the previous one against what the HRE is bringing. Jean, though she doesn't need more XP, just coming to help clean this up. Champions coming as well. And this push is going to be held by just the patience of Team 1. Team 1's really showing the patience of high-level play here. Lets the enemy kind of push through the pit, push forward. Meanwhile, the secured middle of the pit from Team 2. Team 2 is going to have to start trading as well, because what we see on the back here is now we have Lash and Baltoon on the trade line, and we'll probably see even more, blue markets coming out as well. Though we don't see Anatan's traders just yet, it looks like they're on their way as well. Very nice farm eco. Look at this. Everything's maxed out. We're looking at Shogunate castles, buffing all of these farms and defending Anatan's base. Rams still need to be cleaned up here. This one's basically almost done. Now, Lash in a lot of trouble. No walls to protect him here. The other players coming to help him out, of course. We have 4 versus 2 here for now, as orange and red kind of preventing Crackety from doing too much damage in the middle. Big counter push for Team 1 as they hold that first attack, and when they go to raid Lash, Lash holds on just a second, loses the School of Cavalry though. Not too big of a loss this late in the game, but big, just, oh my gosh, look at this fight. Look at this fight, so many units. It's like a rainbow of color out here. At a certain point, when do we just change the colors to team colors, yellow versus red or blue? Oh my goodness. So much Anatan with a ton of range out here. Guns, Azutsu, gonna be huge, but the amount of melee units in this fight making the guns of the teal player and Anatan so valuable with heavy units everywhere. Teal putting in so much work for Team 2. So much work at this time. Just take a look at Teal's eco. Just, oh my gosh, struggling with the food, huh? But has the Aachen farms, has Swabia, just trying desperately to keep the food up in this matchup with the huge fights going on, keeping the guns up. He's got... Let's check out the other team. He's got... Oh, we're still focusing on Team 1 when we select, but this fight continues in the middle. It is the gunpowder era, folks, as the arquebus, the hand cannon, rather, comes out. We've got the hand cannon. We've got the hand cannon of the Azutsu. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All fully maxed out armies in this game right now. Not quite looking at men-at-arms, actually. Just sticking to the spear handgun, which I think is probably the best play for HRE for now, because he's really doing a lot of work on the teal. Looks like Crackety trying to prevent Roos from taking the forward gold, and the golds are running out. Team 2 not trading just yet, but hoping for some damage, I guess, against Team 1. Let's see what the trade situation... Okay, markets going up now. Markets for teal and red. Any markets for the others? Not just yet. This fight is going to be non-stop for the rest of the game here. Oh my goodness. Look at Japan. Anatan just duking it out in a spear versus handgunner melee. Just a brawl between these two. Meanwhile, Orange coming back out to help out, use the mobility of the mounted samurai. Roos Horseman trying to clean up the villagers on the gold here. But between the Castle of the Crow, which is our Japan and Orange players' Imperial landmark, and these samurai, I think you lose the value a little bit of the treasure caravans, but you do get the rocket at the very least. It's still a keep. Streltsy now for Baltoon. With all that trade, it's going to be easy to get the Streltsy out. Azutsu falling back against the HRE. Tons of Rams again out for Teal. Meanwhile, Crackety is starting to turn this around with the Palace Guard raids. You gotta love it. These Palace Guard, Track Star Palace Guard, gonna just run through. Oh my gosh, cutting this off. Cut this off, cut this off. Yes. He blocks the red here. Red coming for the same wood line that Teal just abandoned, or I guess Teal was on the stone, but either way, comes back and just finds Palace Guard where he ends up. There's so much work for Red and Teal to do here to clean this up. Well, oh my gosh, he's just healing the Vil. This is great. I love this. That Vil has taken so many hits, but continues to just heal it up. The magic of the prelate, the HRE god smiles upon them today as they just heal this villager. Must be a martyr, must be a miracle. Across the other way, HRE's just huge, massive Rams causing chaos for Lash. Japan trying to clean it up. Lash, though, fighting it out. Meanwhile, as Anatan tries to help him clean up the Rams, is fighting Red in the front. We've got Militia. We've got the Knights. I think that might be it. Just Militia and Knights for Red. Just Knights and Spears, and it looks like more of those Jean Elite champions fighting this out. I love the little French Voulier, as they say. The elite spearmen of the French. Baltoon fighting with Orange. A little bit of Crackety here as well, as Crackety tries to help out. Huge fights going across the map. The Streltsy going to be really hard for these Mounted Samurai to fight, especially now that it's a 2v1. Orange all alone against this big mass of Palace Guard, Spears, and Streltsy. The Streltsy Horseman Ram mass for Baltoon. I mean, what do you do against this in the late game as Roos gets the ball rolling with Zhu Shi helping out on the Palace Guard? Oh my goodness, I'm gonna lose my voice with this one, chat. As we've got a 1v2. Is Anatan gonna be able to hold both of these? There's a lot of horsemen here, but meanwhile, Lash pushing into Red's base, so Red not gonna be able to have a ton of Roos units here. And yeah, Anatan gonna be able to clean this up once again, though the Rams trying to slip by. Some Samurai holding back to destroy those. Let's check out the bottom. Lash with the Cannon of Jean. Or rather, that wouldn't be the Cannon of Jean. Must have some artillery back here. So the cannon coming out. Anatan, meanwhile, pushing back HRE. The trade, oh, look at the comparison of the trade. I mean, the gold count, much more in favor right now of Team 1. This trade in the back, not quite pumping like it is on the top. These fights, endless. Oh my goodness. So Streltsy doing so much in the late game, as they want to do. Basically protected by a front line of Rams and Palace Guard. I love it. Streltsy can basically take care of any threat now with the Palace Guard in the front. Gonna take care of this TC. Gonna keep Japan off this forward gold, and Japan's gonna have to make sure to join the trade. Looks like they are. The middle cleaned up for what? Is this the third time we've seen the middle cleaned up by one of the teams? The amount of back and forth in the pit. I love the golden pit here. I kind of really appreciating this map more, seeing it played this way. Greed really coming in strong the way it's played, as it would seem to me. That early aggression kind of difficult with the way the map is formatted. Zhu Shi duking it out against Zhu Shi. Bombard's gonna go down to the Palace Guard and the Spears. Now there are just so many disparate fights. I'm gonna try to stick with one or two here for now. Don't want to keep things too hectic as Baltoon joins the fight against Pink here. Pink not gonna be able to hold all those Palace Guard. Gonna come hide behind the walls. No siege except for a few rams here for Team 1. Okay, more rams than I sort of suspected. That'll be enough to open the door. And Pink is gonna need help. Where's Japan? Japan's holding the Streltsy just to the right. Switching into just veteran Onabugeisha. He needs the Onabugeisha upgrade. Is it coming through? It's not even coming through yet. The big transition too late. Only now getting a university as well. Jean fighting Roos. I like this fight for Roos more just in general. I feel like Roos has more tools for fighting against Jean than Jean does against Roos. The wall's coming up, but they're too late as the French units stream in. Jean streams in with her hand cannon. The door is open in Pink's base, and Pink is off of his food. I think this might be it. This might be the end. Oh my goodness, the streaming comes in. What is Team 2 supposed to do now? They don't have enough trade to keep up with the gold income of Team 1, who has just skyrocketed with a huge line of trade. They're probably trading, using the markets to buy and sell and just go absolutely crazy here as everyone's fully maxed out. We even have Anatan raiding Teal in the bottom, but this big push seems to be the dagger. Oh my goodness, Pink is dead. What does Pink have? He still has food on the back and some wood on the back, but he's gonna have to fall back, build new production maybe. Some units coming out, Pink gonna do what they can to hold. Yellow, good strong push with Anatan. Yeah, look at these pushes. Lash having a little bit of trouble against HRE and Roos, but still, I would say winning this fight as the walls are just too late. Spasskaya Tower having to come up when Roos went up earlier instead of the Royal Armory. Oh, that's it. There are raids on the gold line. Horsemen cleaning up the trade. There's wood villagers back here as well. Baltoon has found it. Baltoon is getting it now. Some counter pushes from HRE against the Streltsy on the left, but I mean, Anatan is in here now too, and that's GG. Team 2 calls it as that final push, taking back the middle once again. Team 1 with Crackety, Baltoon, Lash, and our Anatan going to finish it out with just an absolutely well-executed, patient counter push in the late game as they almost lost it, almost sort of took too much, but Team 2 pushed too hard without enough gold behind it. Thanks all for being here. Big game, nice long game. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next few games. I love in these team games, loving that the pros are jumping on the team ladder. Hopefully we get more and more as our week continues. Thanks all. Have a good one.